Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talkin Drawful. I am your host, the Irreverent Ellsworth. How irreverent are you? That irreverent. Available for weddings and other types of ceremonies. Now, before we go on, just want to let you know as I'm picking out my colors for today, the following program will feature language and also a drawing that is anatomically correct. So proceed at your own discretion. One of the things I like to do when I start drawing, because drawing is one of the few places in the world I get to control things. I get to say what goes, what doesn't go. I like to get the eyes right first. I can figure out the expression. I can figure out a lot about the piece. Something is okay, something is strange. There's some commotion going on. Our character is worried about something. Yep, there's definitely some concern. Some concern, yes. Definitely some concern. And let's see what's going on with the ears here. Yeah, that's right. That's a lot of fun. One of the things I enjoy about drawing is that it forces me to keep pushing forward with trying. What is it? I was listening to something the other day and said, you can't excel at something if you don't, do anything. You can't excel without practice. You have to keep, pushing forward and keep practicing and stuff like that. And this is part of my practice. One head below the head is where the breastises exist, and one of them is coming out toward us because, reasons. Like doing the Wu-Tang symbol. Yeah, there we go, Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. A little bit of ISR on, a little bit of Wu-Tang symbol. Depends on how elongated you want to go with that. It's like the Wu-Tang symbol. Yeah, it's funny. Quick to the point. A little bit of shading here, a little bit of shading there. This lovely lady might want some shoulders. Shoulders to bear her issues. What is going on? She is concerned and she is looking at someone. Oh, she is pointing a finger at someone. She is unhappy about something. Heavens to Betsy. Oh, that looks more like a Spider-Man figure right there. Maybe she's about to web someone. That's probably a longer arm than she needed. I was looking at my waitress last night trying to figure out her proportions. I was like, okay, now, when she crouched down to take somebody's order, and I was like, okay, her elbows come out to her knees would fold up to her chest. It was quite amusing, and I was like, oh, I hope they don't think I'm checking her out. I mean, I totally would, but I'm saying it's just not polite society where people gawk at someone the way an artist gawks at you. That's why artists pay figure drawing models to stay still for a long time so we can stare at you and figure out your proportions. That's the kind of nice thing about photos too. I don't do selfies, I do artistic stills for study. Yes, isn't that good? That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, she just looks so concerned. She's like, hey, I'm kind of concerned about the fact I don't have any clothes on. Maybe you could help with that. Maybe you could give me back my shirt. Hey, this would. Yeah, that's not how I wanted to go with that. I wanted to put the thumb. Let's see here, the thumb here. You're gonna make mistakes. It happens. So we're going to elongate the finger because we really want to sell that point there. And then we're going to bring the thumb here, come here, and she looks a little withdrawn. A little withdrawn. Oh, they are high, but that's okay. That's okay. Because she, of course, is yelling at her friend because her friend has dun 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 lower boobs. Would she poke on her boob like that? That's terrible. You shouldn't do that. Like, you shouldn't poke on someone's boob unless you ask them, right? So we're gonna assume that one of these ladies has already asked the other one if it's okay, because you don't touch somebody's nips without consent. That's just not cool, dude. Just not cool. A little bit of ISR on here. ISR on for the one that's looking away. Not interested in this conversation at all. Just chilling, like, hey, what's over there? That's cool. That's cool. I was just hearing Brad Williams talk about boobs. He's like, boobs aren't perfect. He said, but that doesn't make them not less beautiful. Imperfections, it's kind of the whole name of the game. I see your ribcage isn't not that far. If she's turned that way, kind of, we got our little model here. We're turned that way, then that boob is kind of like off the chest. So we're creating the rib cage under the boob, but then she's got some of her side there, so we'll get a little bit there. Now see, if you start with the boobs, it's kind of hard to approximate where the chest should be, but we'll make it work. Put an arm back here and be like, whoa, maybe she's grabbing her wrist. Don't be touching my boob. Or maybe she's guiding it in. You'll have to tell the rest of the story in the comments below. Let's see here. She's all like, this is where you put your fingers. This is where I enjoy being touched. Now we determine whether she has a smile. What shall be? Oh, see, this will be hard. I usually draw the expression first. I'm going to draw the eyes. Oh, they look kind of confrontational. All right, here we got a nose. But I haven't picked the mouth yet. Oh, what will the mouth be? The mouth will be, she's kind of like, she's a little shocked, so maybe, looks like a tear. That's terrible. Maybe she'll have like a half smile and a half frown. Maybe she's all like, that's kind of jokerish. Oh, yeah, no, she's happy. She's a happy camper. She's a happy camper that's doing this right here. Tone down her chin. Tone down her chin a little bit. Her little chin. There we go. And now put an ear on here because she likes to hear too. She's got things to talk about. I don't know. I usually draw lots and lots and lots of hair. I like this little thing going on here. I think I'm gonna do a variation of that. Is this the color I was using? I think it might have been. Well, then let's use this color. With hair, you can kind of get away with it because hairstyles are pretty freaky as they are. Now, I will say this, be careful with mixing markers together, because what you'll find is that the color will bleed, and the darker colors will start transferring to the lighter colors. It's not so much the other way around. So, truth be told, you should probably go light to dark with these colors, because each of the markers has some kind of solvent in there, I guess, to keep the color liquid and get it moving around and whatnot. But in the interim, what we're going to do is we're going to use this to create our hair for this person. Lustrous locks. Look at that. Dark hair, though. And then what I'm doing here is trying to imitate the light patterns where hair will show in certain points and not show in other points. And that way you're not trying to draw the whole thing, but you're kind of when it curves in, when it curves out. And this is, its departure. If you look at some of like the early Jack Kirby, when he would draw hair, he would do this almost insane, impossible sheen to all of his heroines. I remember on the Inhumans, some of the, I think it was Medusa was one of the Inhumans that had, crazy hair. Her hair always had some perfect luster and sheen on it. And that's kind of what I'm imitating here, but it's also have to realize it's not, don't be hard on yourself. There's such wealth of wisdom in being patient with yourself and not pushing yourself too hard. I mean, push yourself hard enough to get going, sure, but don't go crazy. Don't start burning out, because at that point it's it's not fun anymore. So just have fun with it and change things up, and maybe we'll do one more color before we sayonara out of here. And let's do blue. Now let's go with the teal. Go with the teal as the opposite color. Now this is kind of as dark as, so I don't know if this was the right choice because we lose a lot of the blue. You have to make a choice whether you're going to overlap or not, because if you overlap, that's great, but you're going to have to keep doing it. You don't want to leave white spots if you're going to go, solid color. If you want to leave, I guess you kind of have to make a decision whether you're going to go sketch quality or not. Because you either put white between them to show the distinction, or you're going to have to make sure that there is no white at all. So make a distinction whether your colors are going to touch or they're not going to touch. Now with marker, if you can see it, you see some kind of the overlap color because it becomes darker. So you just either leave some white spots in there for accent or remove the white spots. They're either accents, consistently accents, or consistently mistakes. So remove them accordingly. That actually looks pretty good. Get rid of all the white spots. And then the whites, because the white spots really capture the eye. I think that's the distinction. If you leave white spots in there, you should only do it because you want them to capture the eye. If you don't want them to capture the eye, then by God's sake, get rid of them. If you wanted, you could break up the luster and kind of use white as the third color, but white is very bright. So you want to get rid of it if you're trying to show the kind of the harmony between these two colors. Get rid of all instances of it, and then that way it forces the eye to see the relationship between these two colors. Whoa, snooze fest. But at the same time, kind of pretty, so, whatever. Screw myself defeating inner noise. Somebody was like, I didn't know you could draw. I'm like, yeah, I still can't. They're like, yeah, but you can draw better than me. And I'm like, oh, it's because you're not confident enough to fail. You should get out there and do some. So that's our lesson for today. Go out there and be confident enough to fail. Thanks for tuning in to Talkin Drawful. I'm your host, Irreverend Ellsworth. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share with your friends. But warn them, it's not safe for work. Patient B.